on. You on there?
I'm on there right now?
Yep.
All right. So it's recording right now then?
Yep.
All right. What's good, Relocation Football League fans, and welcome to the first Relocation Breakdown show here in our first podcast. Happy to bring this to you here with some special guests. I got co-commissioner Preston.
Yes, sir.
What's good with you? We got Mike in the building.
What's going on?
And we got a new head coach, Coach Fourze. He'll be head coach of the Condors.
Pleasure to be here, fellas.
Yeah. So to start off the stream, just want to tell you guys pretty much this podcast pretty much going to be about talking about everything that's going to be going around about the RFL as far as information, transactions, and a whole lot of things heading forward. But we're just going to get straight into this particular episode. So we're going to start off talking about the Pro Bowl, which is tomorrow. It's going to be at 8:00. And in case you guys haven't seen the Twitter and seen that it will be the teams will be represented by Dallas and Tampa Bay. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you guys who the rosters are. First, we're going to start out with the AFC. Hold up, let me get that set up. Okay, so. All right, so. Okay. Is it showing everybody? Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I got this plug in. Okay, so what you see here is the AFC roster. Don't pay attention to the NFC side on the left. Those are just the NFL players, the generic ones. But we're worried about our players. Let me get to the top of the list here. So here's the list. Here's the quarterbacks that are going to be in the AFC Pro Bowl. Starting quarterback will be Brady Hudson, who won MVP this season. So big season for him. Unfortunately, Huskies got eliminated in a first round of the playoffs that they were in against the Aviators. So tough loss for them. But he'll be backed up by Aaron Pritchett, quarterback for the Conquistadors. And, of course, we already know Drake Crowell, beast quarterback. He will be the third slot in there for the AFC spot. And going on to the running backs, we got the Celtic Tigers running back who led the RFL in rushing a season ago and now a second this season underneath of Adrian Spicer. They're going to be the starting running back there for the AFC, and for backing him up will be Kadron Luss, starting running back for the Aviators. And the last slot for the running backs is Javonte Gilliam, the Dreadnoughts running back. That's my boy right there. And you got two fullbacks also in the league. Baluckety, I know he comes from the Bisons. And as far as Devin Hepburn, he's a fullback from the Sentinels. Of course, we haven't seen much of them being in the fullback position. And then for the receivers, we got Deontay Compton, who's going to be the starter there. And second receiver is going to be the Riverhogs starting receiver, Sylvester Leach. As you can see the overalls of the players too. Sylvester Leach, highest overall receiver, but he lands in second. So a big season for Deontay Compton. Third receiver on the list is Matt Nayani, the receiver for the Celtic Tigers. Fourth, Trayshawn Whitlock from the Mexico City Conquistadors. And the final slot for the AFC receivers is Armin Holland, wide receiver for the Aviators. And then now going on to the tight ends, we got Steven Peterson, who is a tight end for the Bisons. And then we have Rainey Shropshire from the Riverhogs and Cedric March from the Bulls. And offensive linemen right here, no need to really go through them. Oh, I guess I'll go through them. We got the great. I don't know exactly what teams they are from, to be honest, because, of course, I haven't really paid too much attention to the linemen. But the great, I know he's from the Red Dragons. He's a starting left tackle. Then we got DeLong, left guard, Kashama, center, Nielsen. I know he's from the Celtic Tigers. Clifton, Eubanks for right guard. And the second right guard, Taylor. And tackles, we got Dawson, and I believe that's Boss. Is that how you say that name, y'all? Does that seem right?
Yeah, that seems right.
Boss? Okay, Boss. Dang, it's a long list. Left defensive ends, we have Edmund Whiting from the Voyagers, Antonio Griggs, who was defensive rookie and defensive lineman of the year a season ago backing him up. And we got Roland Kaiser from the Bulldogs starting at the right end. And backing him up is Jason Lindsley from the Celtic Tigers. Tyrone Dillard, defensive tackle, will be starting from the Celtic Tigers. CJ Core from the Red Dragons. Odom from the Sentinels. Left outside linebacker starting is Brennan Gabriel from the Aviators. Then we got backing him up, Lee Leffage from the Bisons. Middle linebacker Brett Rattay will be starting at middle linebacker. And Bulls linebacker Sterling Carmazzi backing him up. Right outside linebacker is Leno from the Bisons. Irvin Chisholm will be backing him up from the Dreadnoughts. Cornerback, it will be Lynn Mayberry starting. And, of course, the Red Dragons defensive back, Avante Celestin, second. Third cornerback, Carlos Gint from the Bulldogs. Fourth, Isaiah Rodenhauser. Free safety, Irvin Smith from the Bisons. And the backing him up is Leroy McCoo, strong safety. Harold from the Voyagers. And Matt safety, and strong safety. And the final strong safety is Matt Wilkinson from the Black Knights. And the kickers, we got Bolzer and Kirkpatrick. So that's it for the AFC. Long list right there, but that is your roster for the AFC Pro Bowl. And as far as the uniforms that they'll be wearing, here's a look at the uniforms that they'll be sporting in the Pro Bowl. Hold on, let me get that up real fast. So they'll be represented by the Bucks, and this is the uniforms that they'll be wearing right here, as you can see. It's all red. Of course, that's the best helmets I could find. What you guys think about these uniforms? You like them?
Yeah, I have no problem with them. They look really nice.
Yeah, I agree. I think the all red suits the AFC very well, so I think that definitely goes good.
Yeah, I like it. Best. What'd you say, Ozzy?
It's a good mix of new school and old school. That's what I like about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely get the same vibe. Yeah, so these are going to be the uniforms for the AFC Pro Bowl. And the reason why I have to go with the Cowboys and the Bucks, forgot to mention that to you guys, is because those are the only blue and red teams that could come up with close uniforms that meet in week 2 of the preseason on Madden. So from that, you know how Madden works in the preseason. They actually rotate guys. So that's what I want. Just like in the Pro Bowl, I want the game to rotate in different teams. So that's the reason why I'm rolling with it like that. So go ahead, put it into that. Now we're going to go through the NFC. Let me hurry up, close this real fast. We're going to go through the NFC roster, and then after that, we'll get talking to our new head coach, Stephen Fourze. Steve, I'm just calling you Steve. I don't know why I keep saying Steven, man. My bad.
No, that's fine. It's all good, man. All good.
Let me see. Let me bring it up. All right, you guys can see it?
Yes, sir.
All right, so now we're going to be looking at the NFC side here. I got to make sure I get to the top of the list. It is at the top of the list, so I got this kind of off then. Whoa. Yeah, these aren't in order. But let me go ahead and find where the quarterbacks are then. Okay, there it is. That's the top of the list right there. We got starting for the NFC, we have Joseph Giddily, quarterback for the Snowhawks. As you see, 99 overall, had a fantastic season. Got eliminated first round of the playoffs, which was a shocker pretty much to most people. You got him starting. Of course, the electric rookie out of Tennessee for the Condors, which I know Stephen Fourze is going to be glad to have on his offensive side of the ball. The electric quarterback, Chase McCoy, threw for over 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns. He was an animal this season. Came up short in the playoffs, but great season for him. You got Latavian Worrell, quarterback from the Explorers, and that's your 3 starting quarterbacks right there for the NFC. And, of course, the league's leading rusher in the RFL, Adrian Spicer, from the Desperados will be starting at running back. Backing up is Cornell Mickens from the Shamrocks. And let's see if we got the other – where's the other halfback? This list is kind of moved all over the place right now. Okay, here we go. And in the third slot for the running back, we have the Explorers running back, Bradley Atagwe. And then fullbacks, we have Keenum and Swope I'm going to easily breeze through them. And starting at receiver for the NFC, we have Kart Jaguar, another key asset right there for the Condors. Led I believe the NFC in receiving yards. So he was a big time target for Chase McCoy. Big reason why they had success. Backing him up, you got Marco Regis from the St. Louis Gunners. Then you have C.J. Robinson, an electric rookie out of UCLA, who played for the Explorers as well. You can already tell Explorers got a lot of guys in this Pro Bowl team, so they had a fantastic season. Fortunately, they got eliminated as well. We got Derek Hicks from the Diablos, so a championship player right there. Kenny Bills from the Lancers. Tamani Leftwich from the Steamers. Patrick Bain, the tight end, will be starting for the NFC. He's from the Brooklyn Barons. And we have, and backing him up, Keelan Linton from the Snowhawks. Eric Reese, number 3. And, of course, we're just going to breeze through the linemen. I'm pretty sure nobody really cares about the linemen, so we're just going to move through that. And defensive end, the sack leader right here, Stephen Wilcox, excuse me. He had broke the record for the most sacks in the game with 6, and he definitely deserved to be the starter here. Got DeMarco Meggett as a backup. Wayne Costin from the Gunners starting at the right end. And we have Metcalf backing him up. Starting at defensive tackle for NFC, we have Jonathan Gage, then backed up by Ben Meacham from the Thunderbirds. And Flulin, I believe he's from the Barons. And Fine is from the Lancers. And this list is just all over the place. Hold up. Is that right? Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's right.
And okay, I'm just making sure that this was because this list is moving. And at cornerback, we got Golson from the Gunners, Jaquez Ray from the Celtic Tigers, Rashad Chamberlain from the Explorers, Tolver from the Snowhawks, Vanover from the Condors. So Condors right there, 3 Pro Bowlers in this Pro Bowl for the NFC. Free safety backing him up, Frederick Roper from the Marshals. Ethan King, the rookie out of Alabama, that's playing for the Desperados, is the starter at strong safety. Garrison Ash is backing him up, and the kickers, Franks and Hoskins. So that's it for the NFC rosters right there for you guys. Man, that was a long list, a lot to go through right there. And here will be the uniforms that they will be rocking from the Cowboys. Go ahead, share this real fast.
I'm surprised how only one Diablo made it to the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, that is crazy. We were talking earlier about Myles Kerrigan, how explosive he's been in the playoffs, and the fact that he's not even in there. But little did guys know he wasn't all that explosive this season. He had a lot of injuries that happened to him, and he didn't even rush for over 1,000 yards. Surprisingly, he was close at 940, but it was at the end of the day, though, it was a good season for him. And now here he is, possibly could win the whole thing. So can't wait to see how that turns out on January 7th in the Relocation Bowl. That's going to be a fun game to watch.
And that's what the playoffs are about as well. I mean, you look whenever you go into the postseason, you're always looking for any kind of player to step up and make the extra adjustments and go the extra mile for everything. So
most definitely. And so here's a Pro Bowl uniforms. What you guys think about the Pro Bowl uniforms as far as the Cowboys? Probably feeling the Bucs uniforms a little bit better. They ain't have no blue pants to give the Cowboys. Surprisingly, I didn't know that they didn't have blue pants. But this was the best I could come up with the NFC. Where's that at? I'm looking through something real fast. You guys, my bad. Trying to find the stream.
I'm surprised that you couldn't find them blue pants. That's crazy.
Okay. I just had to make sure I could find YouTube on my phone real fast so I could see you guys and actually comments, because I know guys will comment and I can't see anything. For the first time I'm able to see you guys. I want to say shout out to everybody that's here. Appreciate you guys coming through the live stream. And back to what we were saying. Yeah, I was shocked that they didn't have any blue pants. I thought they had blue pants at some point throughout their career, but I guess not. But now it's time. Now that we're done going through the Pro Bowl and who's on the rosters, the uniforms, let's go straight to the coaches now. So new coach, we're supposed to have two guys on here for the show. Stephen Kamba was recently hired as head coach for the Brooklyn Bulls, but he hasn't responded back to me yet. I guess he's really busy. He did tell me he was going to be busy, so unfortunately, I don't think he'll be able to make it to the show. But we do have newly hired Condors head coach Stephen Fourze, man. Nice to meet you, man. Go ahead, give yourself a little introduction to the viewers, man.
Well, like I said, it's a pleasure to be on, the first podcast. It's a pleasure to be, in the RFL. I do have, a pretty good extensive background pedigree and coaching, teams in a couple leagues, and I have experience getting teams to the postseason. I have experience getting teams to the championship Super Bowl. Coming into the RFL, I felt as if with my experience, I could take the team to the next level. And by looking at the Condors, I feel I could get them to that next step. As they did, get to the wild card playoffs, round, but I think I could take them to that next level and take them to the Relocation Bowl.
I feel you on that, man. They made it. Let's talk about what's good, Parent Crow. What's good, Jarrell James? Appreciate you coming through the live stream. Got to say what's up to you guys and everybody else who's here. Let me go ahead. I got the statistics here as far as the breakdown for the Condors on how they did this season. But I'm pulling up real fast just so I can give a brief overview to everybody else that's here. So looking at the Condors, of course, we all know they made the playoffs this season. They finished second in the NFC East with a 10-6 record. They were seventh in offense in the NFC, eighth passing, ninth rushing, and 11th in points per game. As far as defense, they were third in the NFC, so pretty solid there. They were first, though, against the run, so they were really good against stopping teams running the ball. Passing, though, seemed to be an issue as they were 12th in the NFC, fifth in points allowed, so not too bad. They were in the middle of the pack there, 11th in sacks and 11th in interceptions, 7th in forcing turnovers, and they had 3 Pro Bowlers this year. So that's pretty much the whole synopsis of the Condors. And what I can say is that, man, their first season in the RFL, they had an impact, had some good players, Chase McCoy especially being one of them, possibly the MVP of that team this season. What do you think? Is there any areas that you feel that this team should improve on, though, from your take on this team?
Looking back at the wild card playoff game, I was going over the game, and I noticed that the offensive line is a weak point on the offensive side. When they were running the ball, executing the plays, they're executing fine. They're giving, Chase, time in the pocket, and if he didn't see nothing outfield, he would take off. But I noticed on a couple of the run plays that they're executing, a couple of the linemen, they execute their blocks, and then they just kind of like give up on the run, executing their block, not allowing the running back to, get into the secondary. And that I feel if the offensive line improves, I feel they could have a very solid run game. Granted, the running back did rush over for 1,000 yards. I feel it could be a more impactful if the offensive line was beefed up a little more.
Yeah, and talking about that, man, starting running back Reggie Cromartie-Smith definitely helped keep this offense balanced, rushed for over 1,600 yards this season. And the fact that Chase McCoy, the rookie that you guys just drafted from Tennessee, coming over in his first season, throwing for over 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns. He was explosive this season. He really carried this team pretty far. And to have, that balance despite the offensive line, which I also can agree has been a weak point for the Condors, I feel like if you guys do address that problem, this team will most definitely make it further in next season, season 3 of the RFL. Now, as far as defense, though, I feel that this defense needs to probably, as we've seen, they are really good against the run, first in the NFC, stopping the run. But as far as against the pass, they really struggled in that area. You have no cornerbacks, actually, that are over a 75 overall. So that can definitely be an impact to try to for some teams to be able to take advantage of, when they have really good receivers. Do you plan on addressing this part of your team in the draft?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Looking forward into the draft. Secondary was a key issue I noticed, as well as I was looking over the wild card game. I noticed there was a couple of missed tackles as well, so we got to clean up the tackling, especially in open field. As far as addressing the secondary and free agency as well, we're going to, take every measure possible in order to get the secondary where it needs to be. We need to be a very, on-point defense. Our front line is just tremendous. They're getting pressure on the quarterback. They're making plays. Our linebackers, same thing. They're, applying the pressure, doing their coverages, making the tackles. It's just that secondary. And with free safety, Russell Vanover, I feel, he could be a very, very good leader in the secondary, and he can help the secondary bloom into a very dominant secondary and hopefully become, very impactful as the new people that come onto the Condors in the draft get accommodated to the team.
Yeah, I definitely agree. In case guys missed the Pro Bowl roster, Russell Vanover, one of the 3 Pro Bowlers from the Sacramento Condors, along with fellow teammates Chase McCoy, quarterback. Of course, we already know how explosive he was. And wide receiver Kark Jaguar, who also, I forgot to mention, won NFC Best Receiver of the Year. Of course, more on awards will be coming out later in the future, in about a week or so. So make sure you guys stay posted on social media accounts for that, so you guys can vote for who's going to be the RFL award winners overall. And yeah, man. So another question I would like to ask: is there any other areas, or do you feel like you pretty much answered that? Is there any other areas that you plan to fix, other than about the defensive backside and the offensive line, or you already got that pretty much mapped out?
The 2 main areas I'm concerned about, like I addressed, the offensive line and the secondary. But overall, as far as the team as a whole, there hasn't been really many, kinks that need to be adjusted. But, moving as we progress through the next season, every position will be evaluated. Every player will be evaluated. And, if you're not performing, you're going to get called in, and, you're going to be, addressed in a certain way. And we expect a high expectation here, for the Condors. You're coming in as a playoff team, you're going to have the mentality that you have a winning mentality. So each player is held to a standard of a winning standard. And if you're not going at that winning standard, then you're not going to fit on the Condor roster.
Nobody's job is secured.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. Now, as far, I guess actually that's all for the question, man. Appreciate having you on, though, Stephen Fourze. That is your new head coach, though, of the Sacramento Condors. So, Sacramento Condor fans, you heard it from your coach, what he plans to address, what he brings to the team, and hopefully next season he can get them even much further in the playoffs. Hopefully, compete in the Relocation Bowl in season 3 of the RFL. But
thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for coming through. Can't wait to see what impact you bring in here in the RFL and what how far you get the Condors next season. Now moving on to our next topic, which is going to be our final one for the day. Of course, I would have had Kamba on here to talk to as far as his coaching job, but I guess we'll bring him in on the next podcast. But now we're going to move on to the final topic, and that's pretty much us giving our prediction on who is going to win the Relocation Bowl. Who do we think is going to be that team to win it? Will it be the Red Dragons or will it be the Diablos, man? So these are 2 really good teams, still kind of unpredictable on who's going to win. Before we go down to each other for each other's predictions, I'm going to go ahead and give a quick breakdown of the teams. As far as the Red Dragons, coming into the game, they're 4th in offense, 3rd against the 4th in offense, 3rd in defense. Of course, you already know they got some really good defensive linemen and just that front seven. The whole defense is just really good. 9th against the pass, 2nd in rush defense, 3rd in points allowed, and 1st in the league in sacks, totaling up 70 sacks this season. So these guys know how to get pressure, and Chumlee's going to have to be prepared for some type of game plan. They got to make sure that they have him protected and find a way to not have him be pressured. As we've seen, that's how Red Dragons forced the turnovers this season. For the Diablos, they're 3rd in offense, surprisingly. So they are a top 5 offense, mainly because of their run game, which is ranked 6th in the NFC and actually 6th overall. And as far as their defense, they're ranked number 5. So their defense, no slouch either. So pretty much that's the breakdown statistically of where these teams lie. I want to go ahead and go down the list of what of everybody's prediction on who they think is going to win. So, Mike, I'm going to go ahead and start out with you. Who do you got winning this game? And give us a nice breakdown of how you think it's going to go.
Sure. Well, I think that starting off, I'll go ahead and say that I think I've got the Diablos going 24, taking it 24-21 over the Red Dragons. Okay. The reason I say this, I would say, I mean, if you look at coming into this game, Kerrigan has played great. He's, ran the ball very, very effectively. The offensive line knows where you need to put the credit. If you look at the past 2 playoff games that the Diablos have played in, the offensive line has played very effectively. They've, picked up blocks whenever they needed to. You've seen, in some cases, the guards, even the center get up into the 2nd level and, create those blocks for Kerrigan. But, Chumlee has to spread the Red Dragons out. He can beat them with his legs. He was 70% last week. So if the Diablos can win at the line of scrimmage, take care of the football, and spread the defense out, that's going to be their recipe for success. Mm-hmm. Now, I will say on the other side, the Red Dragons are, coming off of a big win over Royal Celtic Tigers last week. Lewis was forced to throw the ball 37 times. He ended up with 59%, a touchdown and a pair of interceptions. Lewis has to take care of the football as well and rely on his running back to help him manage the game. Obviously, we all know what Bobo's capable of. No quarterback should ever be forced to throw 37 times, and he's got his hands full as well with Haggerty and Mayer, the 2 defensive ends for the Diablos coming after him. So
solid defensive ends.
Yeah, if they can get him in rhythm early, if they can get him in rhythm early, get his confidence up, and ride the Bobo wave, I think that they might have a shot at it.
I definitely hit on some good points there, man. Definitely see where you're headed with that. Good prediction right there. Preston, what do you think? How you think this game is going to go out, man? Give us your prediction of how you think this game will go out and your breakdown.
I'm thinking it's going to be the Red Dragons 21-17, and the reason why is their defense. I think they will be able to stop Kerrigan. They have one of the best. They've had one of the best defenses all year, and their cornerbacks are going to limit the passing game. So I don't think that the Diablos are going to be able to do as much as they normally accustomed to doing.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I agree with you there. I'm also going to go with Preston on this one. I do think that the Red Dragons will win. The final score that I'm going to come up with, I think it will be, I have to say, about 34-27. I think it's going to be a close one, but I feel that this offense of the Red Dragons has gotten a lot better. Like I said, this offense is the main reason why they're here. Of course, their defense really good. They've always been good, even since last season, but with the fact that they have an offense to help them out as well, it's really going to help them out a ton. And I feel that they can score some points offensively. And you can even see even when the offense struggles to score, the defense finds a way to score. We look back at the divisional game where they scored 28 points on defense against the Condors. I mean, that is just absolutely amazing. Like that defense was able to get 2 pick sixes and 2 other turnovers for touchdowns, total of 28 points. That's just as good as any defenses I've seen. And I just don't think that the Diablos are going to be able to handle it. The pressure that the Red Dragons are going to be able to send is just too great. And I don't feel that Chumlee has the poise to stay in the pocket or to get the ball out of his hands fast enough. We already know he's a scrambler, so I mean, I just feel the Red Dragons really going to get it done. Their offense going to have a lot of opportunities to be on the field, and I think they'll take advantage. So that's my prediction. And of course, yeah, I think that's it.
I think I was going to say too, I was going to mention one thing. I know, Smitty, you and I were talking a little bit earlier about it. The Red Dragons have a really good defense. Obviously, we can all agree with that. But the different showings that they have with their defense, they can show so many different looks on the defensive side of the ball. We were going over it earlier, and they have a lot of decoy blitzes where they'll bring two on one side and cover up one or two of them as on man coverage. And I think the biggest factor here, Kerrigan won't be able to get going unless that offensive line can pick up those extra blocks. So that's going to be definitely something to watch.
Definitely agree with you there on that one, because I mean they just have so many stunts, so many different looks, and they can disguise their defense really well. And that's why I agree and don't feel that the Diablos, or especially Chum Lee, I think is the key to this game. If he has a good game, I think the Diablos win. If he doesn't, I don't see them winning, because, I mean, at the end of the day, if you can't get a quarterback to have time in the pocket, or he can't make reads, and your defense constantly pressuring him, I don't see how, the offense is really going to be able to function.
Yeah, and Kerrigan's got hot hands right now, so if he can keep it going. I mean, I'll tell you what, if he has another 150-yard game, then that'll be it's going to be tough for if he gets it going in the first half, it's definitely going to be tough for the Red Dragons to slow him down.
Yeah, that's amazing. The fact that, I don't know if I didn't say this in the stream, but Kerrigan ran for over 700 yards in 3 games. That's incredible. The guy didn't even rush for 1,000 yards. He rushed for more than half of his yards that he had during the regular season in 3 games, and they couldn't have came at a more crucial point. And so that's why I got to say, man, it's going to be a close game. That's why I think it's going to be a close game. I'm glad that these two met. Like I said earlier, if the Celtic Tigers were in this, it probably would have been a different story. I don't think their defense would have been able to stop Kerrigan at all. And, yeah, I'm just glad that these two teams are able to meet up. And so that's going to do it. I think that
would have been a shootout if it was the Tigers and the Diablos. I think it would have been more of a shootout than a defensive game.
No, yeah, I agree with you. Because Drake Crowell and that offense would have definitely been putting up some points. And, yeah, it would have been a shootout. I can agree with you there. You said, wait, are you in the podcast too, James? No, James not in the podcast, Parent Crow. So, yeah, that's going to do it here as far as us on the stream. You guys, Mike, Preston, if you guys see any comments in the comment section, you guys want to answer anything, any questions from the viewers so far in the first RFL breakdown stream, go ahead. Wait for you guys to go ahead and get some comments.
We got somebody, Sin Cara is saying Mexico winning 28-21. So I got one person on my side.
Yeah, because I agree with the Red Dragons winning it. And is there anybody else who actually thinks that Mexico City might pull off this upset
Please
win?
comment. Help me out. Come on. We've got I'm the lone wolf in this one. I'm trying to take Mexico City because, hey, you know what? Nobody even thought Mexico City would make it to the playoffs.
Yeah,
I didn't. It through the playoffs.
Yeah, Sin Cara is still yelling Mexico in here.
I say Mexico City by 10.
Oh.
Ooh, okay. There we go. Mexico City by 10. All right. Okay, so this is going to be interesting to watch. I think all in all, it's going to be a good game. It's going to be something that
defense wins championships.
That's it.
And I agree with that.
But hopefully Mexico City can step up. But if not, regardless, we're in for a good game.
He said, go whoever kicked out the Dreads. Facts. Man, I would have loved if the Dreadnoughts had made it to this point. But, man, we still played a really good game against the Celtic Tigers, though. Y'all can't say that wasn't a good game, man. But it was a good season for us, man. Hopefully we'll make it back. Hopefully we win the division. I just want to get back in the playoffs at least. But we'll see what the future holds. Any other questions?
James has a question. James has a question in there.
What did he say? He says, what do you ask? I can't see.
What's your thought on the Lancers at the end of the season?
Oh, well, as far as the Lancers, they should have actually been in the playoffs, man. They had some big losses, so I wouldn't say it was a disappointing season for them, but it wasn't a season that should have ended the way it did. You know, I feel that they really should have punched in on that last spot, that last loss against the Barons to get them kicked out of the playoffs. That was just, I don't know. I didn't expect that. I thought they were going to be able to pull off the win, but still was a good season for them. They got a couple Pro Bowlers in here. So, you know, I mean, I wouldn't say the season was bad, but all in all, I don't think the season was all that great for them though. But any other questions said, do you think the Bulls will make the play? I don't know, man. New head coach, Stephen Kamba, he was going to be on the stream, but like I said, he's been busy running errands, so we'll have him on another day. I do think that as far as how I think they will do next season, I'm not really sure, man. That AFC North division is really tough. I mean, you got the Dreadnoughts, the Bisons, and the Pioneers in that division. The Pioneers have kind of been the weak sister out of that group, but they still got some really good players, though, especially rookie running back Felton Lewis. So they led the AFC also in rushing yards. So I think they can go up there, but only time will tell. We'll see in season 3. Any other questions? I think
agree.
That's everything. Yeah, I believe that's everything, y'all, man. Appreciate having you guys out. I want to thank Mike Preskins. I said Preston. My bad, bro. Preston, Steven, thank you guys all for coming through. Anything y'all want to say before we close out of here?
Nope, I think we're pretty good. Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us, man.
I'll make a prediction on the new Bulls coach. Is that correct?
Uh-huh.
I would say he's going to have at least be second place in his division and have a winning record this year.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
That's bold.
A lot of bold statements coming from Fourze here today. So, yeah, I think that's going to do it here. Of course, this is the first podcast. Maybe the podcast wasn't all that exciting as far as – well, it was exciting, but as far as me talking, it's my first time going about it. So I'm going to make sure that I keep doing this so that way I can get comfortable with doing it. I'm going to always have Mike and Preston on. They're going to be definitely my co-hosts, my lead guys in this. And so we'll have more guests, more things to come. I want to appreciate all you guys for coming, and we will see you guys on the next podcast. Actually, we'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 o'clock for the Pro Bowl game. Forgot to ask on who you guys thought was going to win the Pro Bowl, but we're past that already. So, yeah, y'all don't even remember who's on the teams at this point. So
we can chat in the Discord.
Yeah, we can do that in the Discord. So, yeah, that's going to do it here, man. Once again, appreciate you guys coming through, and we will see you guys tomorrow at 8 o'clock for the RFL Pro Bowl. Peace.